140
Wait,
million XLM awarded. So the XLM equals to
that
the
might have
USD
been
25
me.
million.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
but that would have been
140
cool
million.
though. That would have been cool.
140 million projects. We have 3.9 thousand community members. Huge thanks to Nomad for how much growth we've had in the past even months since she started. And yeah, we're also happy you're here. These are some cool numbers that may or may not be accurate. Also, Anka wrote a blog about all of these things that she's going to drop in the chat right now. So if you want some more details about the history of SCF looking back, we have that. There it is. 5 years of community powered funding. Let's go. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to her because she's been around for 4 of those 5 years and knows more than I do to talk about the history of SCF. I'll advance your slides for you. Just tell me when you want them.
Sure. Yeah, no, it's been quite of a crazy time. And I know that I've started the history of the Stellar Community Fund. I think the last update that I did was October 2022, and actually just made an update. It's not complete yet, but it's in like a decent state to where I was like, okay, like this is like the minimum I can kind of like update to share this blog. So yeah, if you take a quick look at the blog, if you're like, I don't want to dive into the details in the handbook, it just provides a quick overview of what we have done so far, and it's been nothing but exciting. So a quick recap across SCF journey. I guess we can start in 2019. So actually SCF launched on April 17th, 2019, and since then it has done like decentralized funding to fuel the Stellar ecosystem's growth. And so as to kind of get us started, let me go my notes here. So initially, actually, the SCF replaced the centralized Stellar Build Challenge. Like, whom of you actually remembers the Stellar Build Challenge? That's a while ago. Probably. Yeah, I guess Morgan, you were in here like before. Yeah, right. And then you came back later. Oh, maybe 2, right? Let's see. Yep. Awesome. So yeah, I mean the Stellar Build Challenge is pretty interesting. So that actually was launched by like Jet McCaleb in 2016, and so like in 2019, I think like or leading up to 2019, we got a lot of feedback that the community wanted a say in how lumens were distributed to the ecosystem. So enter Stellar Community Fund. So each year, 12 million XLM was distributed across quarterly rounds and really empowering all the community members to nominate and vote on projects. And actually this phase, I mean, we can go to the next one, 2019 and 2022, really supported foundational projects like Stellar Python SDK, Lobster, Enlightenment, and many more, some of which are, I think, also Skyhits as well are in the audience right now. So this was like really exciting to kind of see that growth. And then I know that Tyler was, so it was Zach, for whom remembers Zach, and after it was Tyler, who actually drove this whole new version. It was called SCF 2.0, so first time that the versions were being called. And this was actually where the funding was segmented into like 2 audience-specific rounds. So we had a lab fund for smaller experimental projects, as well as a seed fund for scaling companies. And so like award allocation was streamlined through a mix of community and panel-driven decisions. I would say that SCF 7, so that was the seed fund award, actually ranged from like to about $200 to $300 dollars in XLM to develop their important projects. This also was when I guess like XLM was I guess a bit high at that time, and so like since the pool was a set pool in lumens, like they actually walked away with a decent amount of money, and this actually demonstrated SCF's capacity to effectively boost large-scale ecosystem growth. And some of the, so if you go into the next slide, I think this was actually in 2021 already, right? Where actually some of the projects like with Beans App, like Leaf Global FinTech, like I guess CoinQuest, it's now WhaleStack. There's also Script3, which actually started their first yield block, so like on Stellar Turrets, which was the predecessor of Sorbonne. It's kind of crazy like how deep this all goes. Also, like this was the time when I was more involved. I was involved already in 2020 when I started that Stellar Development Foundation. But right, yeah, no, I'm just reading this set. Tyler and Colton had a podcast. It was really good. Unfortunately, I think yeah, it got phased out, but maybe we should do it again. Maybe community members should do a podcast. Anyway, good idea for someone. Just maybe submit to SEF. Also, the first startup camp mentions this was not really connected to the Stellar Community Fund directly, but it was, I guess, like it did end up going into that. So pretty exciting stuff. Next year up, 2022, was a pretty big year, I would say. Like we kind of really drove onto that entrepreneurial focused growth from the seed fund, and now like instead of voting on the amount a project would receive, since like that didn't always work out too well, projects actually specified their budget request in USD, and the final payout was still in XLM, but the projects needed to then also pass a selection panel before moving on to community vote. So this is actually similar to how we have it today. Voting shifted I forgot to mention this, but SCF 2.0 had this very interesting, yeah, Alejo just mentioned it, it's very interesting quadratic voting system. It was called, I believe, Flaggable Quadratic Vote, and it was like a spin-off on what Gitcoin did. It didn't end up working too well for a number of reasons, mainly also because people found it a bit complicated, and like it was a bit complicated, but also like you could have so people waited to vote to have a larger influence, I guess, at the end, because they could like more see like, oh, actually, I want to skew the results like this way. So I think it works very well with Gitcoin, but maybe not so much here. Anyway, you can read more about it in the SCF handbook. Moving forward, 2022, so Sorbonne was in the works. It looks like Gemma put here, there's no unprecedented growth in submissions and also Discord activity, so that's great. Moving forward to 2023, and I think this is where I think it really began, right? Before we had biennials, it was like two or three times a year. It was pretty chill. We did some things in between, but then SCF 4.0 changing everything. Sorbonne is now available to developers. So as I mentioned here, with the introduction of smart contract functionality on Stellar, SCF expanded significantly, increasing the award amounts, funded projects, and round frequency over 5 times. This is crazy, but it did allow for rapid development cycles and accommodating more projects each round, which was needed to build the Sorbonne ecosystem. Also, no longer was SCF a competition. Any eligible project accepted by the selection panel received their 10% of their requested budget, also referred to as proof of intent. Do you remember? It was not that long ago that we used proof of intent, which is novel at the time, but we since then changed it. Also, Gemma joined, so like 2023, really, really big year. SCF 5.0, Neuroquorum Governance, and Activation Awards, which took over the proof of intent. All right, we've done a lot of stuff. But actually, like SCF, I would say like 2024 is even more exciting. So let's head to the next slide. All right, so as you already have looked in, I guess like if you've been active in some discussions on this on the Discord, as well as if you've been part of the structured discussions, like you might have noticed like a few discussions on like next steps and maybe new programs, etc. And so likely like what's currently been surfacing is that the fund will evolve from kind of a single program into an umbrella of specialized programs and initiatives. And this is I would say a new like multifaceted structure, really catering to the various needs of the developmental stages of projects within the ecosystem, which is now actually supercharged with live smart contract functionality. So a lot of things changing. So I'm thinking like likely in the next few weeks, maybe like a more detailed proposal, binding all of these together in like one SCF 6.0 proposal, will come through for community discussion, maybe even like official community vote. But some of those discussions have already highlighted the following. So we have go-to-market support for Sorbonne projects. Now that projects are deploying on mainnet, it underscores kind of the increasing need for robust go-to-market support. So some of these like post-development award programs might highlight like liquidity needs for financial protocol or infrastructure credits for like RPC and like indexers, etc. Also, accelerator projects programs will definitely play a pivotal role to help these projects gain adoption in a larger Web3 stage and beyond. I would also say, and some of you might actually seen the Anoukia's proposal to ramp up education and community initiatives. This is going to be a game changer because, like, obviously for a lot of like Stellar Community Fund and post programs to work, we actually do need a lot more inbound. And so a lot of work. Actually, the Shubham from Onboarding Club here. So actually, Onboarding Club and a number of other partners have already done a great work to kind of spread the word about Stellar and educate. And we actually want to create a dedicated vertical for this, or there's currently a proposal out to make this a dedicated proposal that allows like individuals, or that empowers individuals and organizations to set up their own programs and events. Yeah, actually, like, thanks, Source Hub. It's pretty, I guess, in that realm, but we did also like 3 Africa ones. Sorry, I'm like trying to answer the chat at the same time. But yeah, so, all right, second one, I guess third one, it kind of like trying to scale operations and to manage new initiatives effectively, like, we need to significantly scale. Like, you already see with just like, me and Gemma kind of running the ship of SCF, trying to scale that. Maybe get a second person. Now we have Anoukia on Startup Camp. It does like see like the more that we kind of gain more people, the more we want to expand, and especially to manage these new initiatives. Like we'll also need to increasingly rely on community members and third-party experts with proven expertise in the ecosystem growth and development. So I would love to like ideate with y'all. I think this is the one thing where I'm kind of still a bit seeing like what we should do. Should we kind of gain like some kind of like not quite how a DAO structure has like work streams, but something like that where it's like actually can empower the community a lot more, and also being able to like properly like compensate for this work. Yeah, Gemma is not an AI. She's right here. Anyway, DAO structure. Yeah, I mean, I am kind of slowly moving into that a little bit, Morgan. It's like, but I want to, like, it needs to be set up well, right? So anyway, so then the third, I guess that the fourth part is to really kind of like, well, I guess like they kind of go hand in hand, right? Like scaling operations as well as decentralizing governance. And ideally, we want to see Neuroquorum governance actually becoming a deterministic model. So as you remembered, early 2023, we actually went from deterministic to signaling. So actually taking a step back on the power that community vote had. I want to give that power back now that we have kind of like proven like a new structure, and hopefully in the next few months or so, I hope that we can actually get that back to a deterministic model. But again, a lot of these are still in discussions. I would love to kind of, if people have any idea, just feel free to kind of raise them in Verify panel, or make sure that you are verified first. It's not that easy. We actually made it a lot easier lately, and yeah, I'm super excited for what's to come. That's it from me.
Cool. Thank you, Anka. Yeah, lots of exciting stuff. 5 years of looking back and looking forward to the next 5 years. And with that, sort of enough talking from us, because while we are sort of, I don't know, vaguely manning this ship, SCF is about you all, and it wouldn't exist if it weren't for all of the developers we have, and the submitters, and community reviewers, and voters, and structure havers, and bot builders, and all of you. So with that said, we're going to take some time, and we've got 4, it might be 3, because Establock is famously running an event, I believe, right now, and told me he could join, but understandably might not be here. So 3 or 4 SCF spotlights from people, and we tried to pick a fun variety of people who have been here for a really long time, and maybe folks who just got here, some projects all over the place. And we're just going to ask people for a couple of minutes to talk about their journey with SCF, what it means to them, what they've learned, what they're looking forward to, any of the above. And then perhaps after people share, if anyone else wants to just sort of jump on spur of the moment, we'd love to hear from you. You all are this program, so we're glad you're here. Yes, so SourceSwap, I believe he is not at this time with us. Maybe he'll join later. We'll see. So we have Emmanuel from Link here. Been a block. I invite you to speak.
Hi, Gemma. Hi, everyone.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Really great to be here. Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, all good.
Awesome. Awesome. I think for us, like it's very, very always important to note how Stellar is to our own journey at Link. Most importantly, to how the SCF has been very instrumental to our growth as a team. And it's really nice to think about how at every point in time that we've grown, right, the community here was really instrumental to that growth, right? So I remember, like, I say the story over and over again, but it's really I say it because I use it to reflect on the growth we've had as a company because of the SCF. So it all started from trying to just build a payment solution that would work, for us as students in Africa, to discovering, to not even wanting to hear about the blockchain, to getting involved in the blockchain because I saw a stellar video on YouTube, to getting to an SCF run boot camp, running through that program, learning, being humble enough to learn, to see the impact Stellar was making, being able to go into our first community fund, build out our products, and then being able to go for the second time, build our product, being able to onboard some record key partners, and then really getting feedback. So for us at Link, we're super excited, happy that SCF has come this far on his fifth birthday, birthing companies like Link, bringing real solutions to platforms, to businesses, to build solutions on chain, either from anywhere they are, right? So today, for example, we've partnered with companies like Beans, right? So Beans is able to launch, a failure ecosystem company. Beans is able to launch in markets like Nigeria because of the infrastructure that was made, that was made possible because of our application from the SCF. But yeah, so thank you so much to the community. Thank you so much to Stella. Thank you so much to the moderators, the amazing Anchor, the amazing German, everyone that has really made this journey a reality for us. And it's just on onwards from here. Cheers.
Yeah, and you all are such a sort of quintessential SCF story. Like I love hearing that you were like, "Oh, let's build a payment solution," and then have come all this way from that, gone through boot camp, and now are partnering with Beans, and you have investors, and you all have just grown so much. It's so amazing to see.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna move on. We've got another, like I said, we've got some folks who've been here a while and some who have been here less long. And we've got the team from Idunu, which is a project that is younger than me, I guess, in terms of how long you've been at SCF. And love this team, love this project, and let's hear from you all. Yeah, Infovore, you are muted. Oh, there
Sorry.
we go.
Sorry about that. Um, Yeah, it's nice being here. Yeah, while we're kind of like young, I've been in the ecosystem, in the crypto ecosystem since like 2016. And then I've had friends who've got the SCF awards, including the previous Build Challenge. And it's been nice seeing how fast they've grown due to the Stellar ecosystem. So when the side project I created started growing wings, and I was like, oh, I can actually make this bigger in a way that local be able to provide low cost donations to thousands of donors and onboard NGOs faster in a way that we could help them reduce substantially the amount of time it takes for them to get donations that donors have given. SCF sounded like a great platform to onboard ourselves to and launch our rocket ship. And when we started, I submitted the first one, and I was like, "Oh, with this quality of project in a batch, we are going to get rejected." And sure, Anke reached out to us, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, it's in a batch, we are going to get rejected." And sure, Anke reached out to us, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, your idea was nice, but we'd like to see this feedback from community members and change this and change that." And I was like, wow, they actually go back. Let me quickly make this change so we can get funded to change a lot of children's lives in Africa. And yeah, from our first one, we were able to build a platform that was not only nice looking, but really exemplify, shows what Stellar is all about, providing low cost transactions in various form of manner, whether it's powering financial transactions or actually helping kids in form of donations. And we've had amazing feedback so far, both from NGOs we are partnering with, and even donors are we've gotten to over 20 NGOs, and we're expanding across other countries in Africa. We are trying our best to ensure transparency. It's not only when donors make funds, but also how NGO spends the money, giving visibility and credibility to how every single cent is being spent. And we've raised millions of naira, directly benefiting thousands of children across all political zones in Nigeria and so in Africa also. So basically, the feedback we've gotten from SCF has been so amazing, which is why when we got the second nod for about with the community stage, it was this huge confidence, like we're doing something amazing, and it would be nice to show how Stellar and in extension SCF can really change lives and build various type of applications, not only financial or bank like banking solutions, but really tiny niches like donors, like social focused projects that could change life. So yeah, I guess that's basically all I wanted to say. Thank you so much for believing in us, and hopefully we can extend our reach to more countries, partner with more stellar anchors across Africa. And yeah, thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much. I love your enthusiasm, first of all. And yeah, I think what you said about beyond payments, like tiny niches, and I think that's what I love about reviewing SCF projects is finding something where you go, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even know we could do that." And now we're helping NGOs to increase funding and transparency and yeah, fundraising for NGOs, I've done it. It's hard and it's terrible and to be able to use this technology to do that is amazing. So we're so glad you're here. Thanks so much for presenting.
Thank you so much, and thanks Morgan also for your positive comments.
All right, and we have the Block in the house live from an SCF event. Yes. Where are you? There he is. There we go. Really live on the ground, but you are muted.
Okay, I have a lot of noise. Do you hear me well? Yeah?
Yeah, honestly, coming through
Great.
great.
So I didn't know how to turn the camera. I want to show you our stand in the Web Summit conference. We have some stellar merchandise. We have an animation on how SourceUp works. And then this is our presentation. So Web Summit here, Francisco, Philip, friend, Matthias from SourceUp and Salto Lab. And we are representing the go out now to talk to you a bit better. So I wanted to show you that we are here representing Stellar. Give me just 10 seconds and I will go out so I can hear you better. But we are very excited about the opportunity that we got from SPF to be able to develop this decentralized exchange on the Sorobon network. And this is what we are showing in this event. We are trying to talk with policymakers and partners here in Brazil in order either to implement our product SourceUp into the platform, or to maybe develop something new on Sorbonne and Stellar. And tonight we are hosting a side event, and it's completely fully booked. So we have an space to 70 people, and there are more than 150 people that subscribe. So I am like teaching every people and trying to have like a great event tonight, representing the Stellar community. We will have as well Meru, Emigro, and there will be guys from Defense that they also are doing projects on Stellar, and there will be CoinFabric, a project that is also doing an audit program, automated audit. And yeah, a lot of people interested in what we do and like create a community of blockchain projects here in Rio de Janeiro.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for joining in the midst of a live event. Truly stellar boots on the ground. Yeah, wow, you have a completely booked 70-person event. That's more people than we have here right now, so that's huge. But yeah, I mean, you all just the amount of like, you're partnering with everyone, you're going out into these communities and evangelizing and getting more people interested. Like, this is what it's all about. People don't need me and Anka to stand around more tables and tell folks. They need to hear from you all and from SourceSwap and how much success you've had. So yeah, Estonia to Rio. Man, thank you for being here. We'll let you get back to your event.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope to see a lot of new projects applying for SCF. Here in Web Summit, there are a lot of startups that they have really good ideas, and sometimes they don't have like completely preference on what blockchain to deploy their ideas. So I hope to see a lot of new ideas that we saw here in Web Summit applying for some SCF in the next month.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I mean, hey, if anyone hears projects that aren't sure, send them to Stellar. And I think, right, that's also, Anuja, I'll put you on the spot here. Great reason for Startup Camp. People say, I have this great idea. I don't know how to build on Stellar. Send them to Startup Camp. They'll figure out how to build it on Stellar. Yeah, great. Well, thank you so much. So glad you're here in our ecosystem and at our birthday party. Good luck with your event tonight. Can't wait to see pictures.
Yes. We will take some pictures. We'll have some photographers, full DJ, some food, some cocktails. So I hope everybody will have fun, and we'd love to join a new Stellar event in the future as well.
All right, I'm getting on a plane right now. I'll be there for the cocktails and the snacks. So
Bye.
thank you. Bye. Now that's commitment, everyone. Take note. All right. Last but not least, we have Wooter from Beans App. I told you all we were getting some deep Stellar cuts. They've been around. All right. You've got some fans in the chat.
All right, nice to be here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, coming through loud and clear.
All right, great. Yeah, it's so amazing to be here. Especially, I was thinking like being in the community. Back then, we had the idea, hey, we can build this app that can be used by regular people. And back then on Stellar, there were no sponsoring of fees, recovery of accounts. So it was not really feasible to build something like that. And back then, I think you discussed it, SCF also was very different. So it's so cool to see where we got now. And I think I often now think that it's bizarre how many projects or building stuff on other networks that would be way better off building on Stellar. So I think that's what SCF is for, to get them started, to hook them up with a better way to build products. And I think that's especially true for us. Like, we could have never been where we are now without SCF in product-wise. But I also want to highlight like the ecosystem side, because it feels like you're building a project as well as an ecosystem. So that's so cool. There's so many parties that we are working with now. Link is one, but there's so many others. And that's the fun part about this, I think. So that's like in collaboration with other projects, but there's also in feedback from the community that you get. There are so many thoughts we had that we could implement. So yeah, I think that alone is a good reason to apply to SCF. And it always gets me thinking on how early we are, right? The ecosystem is still, I wouldn't say small, but we can grow so much bigger. And we can do that together. So that's a really cool thing. I mean, Soroban has just been a few months old, so that's really cool. We've now built like this SDK where people can integrate with Bean, so even more collaboration there. So that's I think my biggest highlight is all the collaboration with the community and other projects. So that's been amazing. So
yeah,
be,
I'm so yeah. It's so. I was just gonna say it's so fun to hear you say like you're thinking about how early we still are, like 5 years in. You know, this is nothing, and if we just like this exponential growth we've had has been amazing, and like you said, like it's almost like all these interjoined communities and webs, and when you all get more people, then we get more people, and it's just so cool to see. So yeah, I mean, Beans, you all are. You've been around. You're so much the backbone of this community and this program, and we're so glad you're here.
Thanks, appreciate that.
Oh, all right. We've got Emmanuel coming back. Is that on purpose?
While you're still at it, Wouter, I had a question I put in the chat. Since you've actually been around for longer than I, what's the most interesting thing, in your opinion, that has happened in Stellar or SCF history? Anything will do.
I don't know if I'm able to choose like now on the spot, but probably that would be Soroban. But for us, actually, simple things like sponsoring fees and key recovery through SEP30 were so important as well, because that allows you to tap into this Web2 user base without having to go custodial, which is totally not scalable if you want to do it fast. So that's not one thing, but at least a few.
Yeah, sponsored reserves actually did change the world of Stellar, at least. But yeah, Soroban as well, of course.
Yeah. It's often the tiny things that can have a lot of impact that are interesting as well.
Word. Oh, all right, Gemma.
All right. Well, with this, everyone, I've been saying this, but thank you all so much. We're so glad you're here. You are SCF. It's not us. We're a community effort. And I've just felt, I don't know, in the 6 months that I've been here, I've just felt so welcomed into this community. And yeah, just thank you to every one of you who's made me feel welcome, and to Anka. And I'm just so happy to see, to look back on 5 years and to see what the next years will look like. So with that, because we love a little friendly competition here, I'm going to turn it over to Nomad, and we're going to play, as I hinted at before, a rousing game of Jeopardy.